Hello, so as usual for a Sunday evening, I'm going to be streaming for about an hour or maybe a bit more of a good conversation. Also, a good thing on this one is YouTube's actually let me know that my microphone's working, unlike last time, because I can see the green volume bar moving up and down as I talk, which is a good sign. Hello, hello, hello to everybody joining, and I know the notification must have been sent out to people who are on because, yeah, there's actually people on at the start, which is nice, rather than it being like 5 minutes and you getting a few people turn up. So hello to everybody. All right, Peach. So I'm not going to wear this mask for obvious reasons. When I do a video, I'll clean it up as best I can and then wear it, but I obviously won't use it as the filter. So if people are wondering what this mask is, it's the title of the video. Ah, good. That's good. You got a notification. So that is good. People are obviously going to click on. So don't forget to like the stream, because that seems to help YouTube share it more. Oh, yeah, it's definitely pre-owned because it's a World War II mask. Whether or not this one was actually used by anyone, I don't know. But as you can see, pretty ancient. Yeah, well, it's weird in that pop because sometimes it seems to be phases where everybody's saying they're not getting notifications and everybody will keep saying they're getting them. And I assume it's when YouTube's deciding it wants to actually let people who sub to me see my videos, they'll get it. And then when YouTube goes, oh, we don't want to show your channel to anybody for some reason, that's when people won't get the notifications. That's all right, Disturbing Daniel. Glad it helped. The voice diaphragm, I don't know because I've not tried it on. You'll probably notice if you know a bit about French masks, this looks very similar to a French mask that came along later, the M51. It's almost exactly the same in all honesty. It's literally a different strap system, although it still connects at the back with that kind of strap, like the French really liked. Well, why? Why not, sick dog? Look, take this off. There's no asbestos here, is there? It's in here. I saw your comment, CP Gaming, and I replied to it. I said, if you said first or something like that, YouTube will have auto-deleted your comment as spam. If you didn't, then your comment's still not showing up, but I've not deleted a comment. Yeah, funnily enough, Pietro, if I'm saying your name right, Italy had a mask very similar to this called the T38. Yep, well, it's just going to be the French World War II filter. I'm pretty sure my Belgian L702 mask, whatever it's called, has a filter exactly like this as well. So some people saying they didn't get notification, some people saying they did, so I still none the wiser. Right, I'll have to measure it, but I reckon it's one of those weird ones France used in World War II that's bigger than 40mm, or a lot smaller than 60mm, like 42mm or something. Right, so let me get a 40mm filter and we'll use that to judge the size of it. Right, ready? So there's your standard 40mm NATO filter. Yeah, see? That won't screw in there, look, because it's... See? It's marginally bigger than 40, so I guess it's about 42mm or something. That's cool, Planes. Didn't know there was a variant of this, but yeah, that's very cool. But yeah. That's cool, Henry. So you got a US flag tattoo. Out the two, I prefer this like flat bow one just because I don't really trust compound bows. Some people like compounds more, but I just like a simple bow, you know, that's literally the old-fashioned bow and a string. What are you on about, Ewan? I'm just going to say to people now, if anybody starts doing stupid political comments, they're just going to get a block. There's a thing called eczema, but you're being a prat, aren't you? So, bye. I bet you go up to people with burns and go, oh, why have you got a stupid burn on your face? But yeah, fuck off, you're gone. But yeah, for the people who actually care and want to know, it's called eczema, you know, a skin rash kind of thing. It's incurable. You can put cream on it that makes it less noticeable, but I've been working all day, so obviously it looks worse. What are good GOST filters for GP5? As in, like, safe GOST filters. The only real safe GOST filters would be modern Chinese and Russian filters. They're the only ones that are still proper GOST threads, because, like, Polish ones are normalized, So some people have said FP5s won't fit on certain masks, and it seems to be very random if they work or not. I would assume Abdul Hakim, if I'm saying your name right, about 140 odd now. Evening Laser, thank you very much. Yeah, that's what I said. FP5's normalized, so the issue is it doesn't seem, because Laser's had this with his FP5, where it doesn't fit some of his Russian masks. That's really interesting. My FP5, as far as I'm aware, fits every Ghost mask I've tried it on, but other people have said it doesn't. So we were thinking it might be something to do with like the O-ring in the bottom, or it might be like the top of that, but we don't actually know. But I'm saying the only Ghost filters that are safe, and I know that are still made, are modern Russian and Chinese Ghost filters. Every other nation pretty much uses 40mm NATO now. Which mask are you on about, Jan? You have to give me a number name for a certain mask. Right, cool. I'll have a look later on, Mike, if I remember and I'm not in the middle of doing something. And I'll chat with people on the live chat for that. Sadly not, mate. Person with, I assume, a Russian name because I can't pronounce it. The problem is, in my area, there's no surplus shops left, like actual, physical brick and mortar surplus stores. In terms of if you didn't see it, there's the actual original old asbestos filter for this. Interesting, it's actually got the valve on the filter itself, like a lot of the old British World War II masks did. I can't actually open that to have a look inside, but there you go, let's see. This one was from 1940 or 1942, I look at it. Yeah, it's not common in the UK, though, so there you go. And I didn't pay much for it either. It was a person selling it saying, like, unknown gas mask, and I think they wanted £20, and I'd never seen one for sale before, so I was like, whatever that is, it's cool, I want one. Okay, so 650 zloty for a Pasca, 450 zloty for a WZ2000. I would go for the WZ2000 because that's a cool looking helmet. It's like the Polish Kevlar one, isn't it? Like the modern Polish Kevlar one, because they had an older Kevlar helmet before that. But I go for that because it's a good price, very good price, and from what I understand, it's like a Kevlar 3A helmet. Don't know what you mean exactly by that, sick dog. Do you mean like Chinese masks that are not like proper license copies or what? I don't have a PMKS. I've heard they're good. The only PMK I've got is the PMK1 GP7. I've not got PMK2, PMK3, PMKS. I've heard the PMKS is actually good though. Although a few people have said with some of the Russian masks, some are made by like one manufacturer, some are made by others, like under military contract, and depending on which factory makes them, the quality control can be all over the place. There's not a twat warning on mine, I'm afraid, Peach. From what I understand, Richard, it wasn't until about 2010 or late 2000s that Russia actually bothered to go to paper heapers. Okay, they're all made by one factory, are they now? Yep, I've got a Japanese gas mask, but it's in awful condition. But as Japan actually used chemical weapons in World War II, yeah, they did use gas masks. But yeah, Japanese World War II masks, there's quite a few designs, actually. They're pretty interesting, but they're very hard to find over here. As much as I wouldn't normally allow a comment like this, Gopnik, does the actual tune to that go, "Come out your blackened hands and fight me like a man," or is it a different tune to that? Because I'll tell you why only reason I know the tune to that was watch this see if this gets me demonetized now. I watched all of this. It's a very good TV series the other day. And when he quit the Tory party, that was because of what they were doing in Ireland with the black and tans. So yeah. Oh, it is that tune. All right. But yeah, that's the only reason I know that. Because Oswald Mosley left the Tory party because of British crimes in Ireland. The thing is, like, right, I don't want to obviously go into the political debate of the Troubles, but I will say on like a pretty balanced thing, Britain does some pretty horrible things, or England's done some pretty horrible things in Ireland, so it's not, I'm not going to pretend that, like, oh, I'm so offended because somebody in Ireland doesn't like the idea of British rule. But we won't go into that because, again, that's very divisive politics. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, but yeah, the Mosley TV series is really good. I watched a load of biographic kind of TV series and films last week. So I bought the Mosley one on DVD because it's quite hard to find that online anywhere. I saw an abridged version annoyingly. I wanted to watch the full version, but I couldn't find the full version anywhere. So it's a bridge version, so it's like 5 hours and something of the 7-hour Mussolini movie with George C. Scott in it. And I watched Patton as well, George C. Scott's Patton, but that's really famous. But I quite like, like made-for-TV movies of that, like the kind of biographics of dictators or like people like that. There's also, I watched Stalin, the Robert Duvall one, which is very good. Do you sell stuff on eBay? No, I buy stuff on eBay, I don't sell it. Right, the mask in the stream, it's the title of the video. C38, which is the French civilian gas mask of World War II. Literally looks like an M51, different cover there, and celluloid lenses, so I don't want to touch them too hard, rather than like proper glass ones. Yeah, World War II in colour is meant to be really good. I think I have some of that on DVD, but only like 1 or 2 episodes where it was done as like a free DVD with something else. I've got all of the World at War in like a massive DVD box set. That's a real FAL, but deactivated. It's technically an L1A1 SLR, which is the British-built FAL. Apparently, somebody was saying in France it's very common. Over here, it's not, though. It's the first one I've ever seen for sale in the UK. If I see a Z56 for a good price, right, the thing with all gas masks, right, you stop spamming it or you're literally going to get a block, even though I'm going to answer your question. Right, so with pretty much every gas mask, I would buy them if I saw them at a good price. The issue is, if I look online and the gas mask is stupidly expensive, I'm not going to buy it just for the sake of buying it and doing a video on it. The Czech CM4 is alright. I showed that in the video. There's actually one sitting right up there in the corner of the shelf. Can you see it? There. Next to the Steve Gorman VistaVision. Like the light sort of brown, sort of green one. But yeah, the CM4 is alright. It's one of those masks a bit like the M65, where if it doesn't fit your face properly, it's very hard to get a good seal with it. But it's better than M65. It's basically an M65 with a voice diaphragm. Listen, the Gants are fine, but I don't own a Diac one. Well, that question was asked like 5 minutes ago, and the answer still hasn't changed, like 140 odd. I no longer have a spreadsheet with all of them on, but if I did, it'd be like 140 odd, I think. No, the closest I can speak to another language is German, and I can't speak German. I can go, mein Deutsch ist nicht gut, sprechen Sie English, danke? I can do that, but it's like German's one of those languages where if it's written down and I'm not rushed, if I read it slowly, I can generally break down a lot of the words and work out what they are. 9 plus 10 is obviously 19, but we're not doing a math stream here, are we? SLR camera, what? No. I've got a bridge camera, which is kind of like an SLR where you can't replace the lens. But in terms of YouTube, I use a proper camcorder. In terms of streams, I use a Logi webcam. Again, Challenger 1, it's the exact same thing I've said about all the other masks. A mask I don't have, as long as it's not a super rare mask I'd never be able to afford, or a World War I mask, which I don't want to get because I damaged them. Basically, what I've said before is if I see one at a good price, I'll get one. If not, I'm not going out my way to buy masks. The thing is, I've got a massive enough collection as it is, to the point it takes up too much space. I've got enough practical masks that if I actually ever need a mask for myself or any of my family, we've got easily enough that would be completely functional and working. But I just do not really have the desire to spend loads of money on particular masks. The sound isn't from the webcam, Daniel. I've got a Blue Snowball. I can probably pick this up and show you it on the cam. Maybe. Oh, no, I can't, annoyingly, because the wire's too short around there. But basically, I've got a Blue Snowball, if you Google that. That's the... it's probably just a case of they put whatever on it in whatever factory they found. See, on this one, the rubber straps are black, but the fabric bits are fabric, so... There isn't mustard gas on the mask. I hope not, because my hand's not peeling off. That's interesting. The only weird Norwegian mask I know of is the Helly Hansen one, whatever it's called. which kind of looks like a panoramic industrial mask. I'm trying. Oh, M61. So what's the diff? What do you mean, just an M9 copy? That's strange, isn't it? Because the WZ93 went so earlier. Is it just because the WZ2000 has the massive ear covers? Oh. So, yeah, you've got the choice between a helmet that didn't see as much service. To be honest, I'm sure the WZ2000 is fine. I'm pretty sure I've seen a ballistic test video on that where it pretty much stops every pistol round they shot at them. Well, yeah, it's obviously a second-hand World War II mask toxic. What's Fuller's Earth? Let's Google it. Capacity to decolorize oil or other liquid. I've never even heard about this before. No, it's Polish vodka in here, but not the paint thinner one. This is just standard, like 40% vodka. I've got one, Jesus. I already said in this bloody stream that I've got one. And I don't play War Thunder anymore, Game King. You'd have to ask Chris, who's in the chat, but I'm pretty sure the I've shown it in a video. Yeah, the CT12, FM12, and my S10, the radio bit clips onto all of them fine because it's the same size thing. What's YouTube doing, Laser? Hiding all your comments, as usual. I've explained this over and over again, email, and I don't want to sound like I'm getting annoyed because I'm not really getting annoyed, but I have a Discord server for people that donate, as in they support me via Super Chat or Patreon. Literally, if they give me $1, they can get on it, but I'm not making one for every other random person as well, because then there's no privileges there for anybody that's donated. Yeah, so YouTube has decided, I guess, Laser, that you're sending evil cryptic messages. Well, as said, Zeppelin, the problem is there's like no physical brick and mortar ones anymore, and I only really use eBay. Again, the problem is with a lot of online stores I found, right? Unless they've got something in that you can't find anywhere on eBay, I find eBay has got a better buyer protection policy in terms of, you know, if the item doesn't turn up, it's very easy to claim the money back. If the seller lied about something, you can get a partial refund, full refund, whatever. Or, and generally people on eBay try and price them more competitively because they know that, you know, you might find loads of other listings for the same item right next to it. Whereas I found on a lot of army surplus sites, prices can be really all over the place. That's right, Ema. You can either do it via Super Chat or Patreon. Up to you. If you do it via Super Chat, you have to include a Discord ID, because otherwise I won't know how to add you. If you do it via Patreon, you can just PM me once you've done a thing. No, I do not challenge you one. The only desert stuff I've got is British DPM desert, you know, the yellow and kind of grey one. Out of all the American masks, right, I'll go through all the American masks I own. I've got an M3, I think it is, World War II mask, the M3 diaphragm mask. I've got the M9A1, M17A2, M40, the MCU2P, and if you want to count it, the Avon M50. So 5 or 6, depending on how you count it. Yeah, Desert DPM, exactly, Challenger one. There's lots of radiation suits, if you want to call them that, on eBay, but they don't actually stop radiation. They just stop alpha particles getting on your skin. Depends on which American masks you're talking about, JTP guy. But if you mean like American, like M40s or whatever, with a 40mm Israeli filter, yes. If you mean Yeah, I've got quite a few Challenger. Just look on my videos, type in World War II and you'll find loads. Yeah, the thing that annoys me, Daniel, as well, is when there's like replicas sold by airsoft sites or whatever of military stuff, and then you go on eBay and you find out you can buy like pretty much unused stuff that's been in warehouses that's really good military grade stuff, and then there's like some really cheap, shitty airsoft knockoff of it, which actually costs more. That sounds good, Peach. Do you mean the M51? Or do you mean the C38 that I'm showing at the moment? Or do you mean a completely different mask, which I didn't think? Yeah, TC38 looks very obsolete for a World War II mask, though, doesn't it? But I suppose if it works, it works. And France didn't really need it, did they? Right, easy one. It will actually say M9A1 on the US one, or whatever, or M9. And it normally says US on US masks. But M9A1s are grey. Finnish M61s are a different shade of grey, like a darker grey. M9s are basically almost like a white shade of grey. Yugoslavian M9 copies are like a bright shade of green. I think it either Swedish or Norwegian, whichever country it was, that also had an M9. Theirs was like a dark green, wasn't it? But generally, you've got like markings on the mask you can actually check. S6 filters, apparently the first, and again, I don't know if this is true, apparently the first sort of issued sets of S6 filters, because it was pretty, early in the 1960s or whatever, can contain asbestos, but the later generations of filters don't. If you want, the thing is with an S6, you can put any 40mm filter on it you want. It's what, 40mm, Daniel? If you mean the C38, no, it's like 42mm. You can fit a Ghost filter onto an S6 if you want to, but if you're going to put an old GP5 filter on an S6, that's probably worse than just using the S6 filter. Okay. Yeah, if you've got a Norwegian one, it's pretty much just an M9. Right, see you playing. Have a good evening. If you mean outserts on gas masks, Abdul, it literally just means they're used for different things. Like mirrored ones are normally like anti-flashbang, anti-glare. I'm pretty sure the red and green ones are for laser designation outserts, but I've not always found the correct answer for that. If you've got an old World War II mask, I would not recommend wearing it, especially if it's got the filter screwed on. WHS. Right, thank you for the donation again, Laser, but what does WHS, is that an acronym for something? Work health and safety, is it, or something? Is it the word safety it's hiding? Because I can see you say work health, but the third word, if you tried to type it, has not come up. So is the word safety blocked by YouTube for some reason? Right, a few people in the chat, try and type safety into the chat and see if it comes up. Good luck, Daniel. Carry on with that. Right, so far I've not seen anybody put safety. You spelt it wrong, Emil. You put safery. Safety. Again, that's not spelt right. Safety. Again, you spelt it wrong. Salty. Again, not the same word. Cheers, Killstrike. The problem is not every room in the house belongs to me. I've done I'll do an updated bedroom tour video for the people who want to see all the stuff on the walls and where everything's stored in here, but the problem is like a house tour thing, that's like in breach of other people's privacy because I'd be showing other people's stuff. No, PC Dragon, it might show up on your screen, it doesn't show up on mine. So unsafety shows up. So right, we have discovered YouTube hides the word safety for no reason. But thank you again, Killstrike, for the donation. But right, why on earth would the word safety be a verboten word? That you're a mod, Peach, that will let you do it. It's just like you can post links. But bloody weird. So, yeah, the word safety is a completely forbidden word by YouTube, and typing it in literally deletes your comment. It like shadow bans your comment. Tyvek suits. Is that like the Tai Chem ones? I don't like mine because it makes a massive rustling noise like 1,000 crisp packets when you walk in it. But in terms of would it work as an NBC suit? Yes. Would I prefer a military grade one? Yes. The thing is, I could understand if it's something that's actually like, it makes sense why it's a hidden word, right? What I can't understand is when YouTube just randomly blocks words that are clearly, I prefer rubber Redim just because of the fact they don't run out. In theory they could after a load of time, but charcoal impregnated fabric suits can expire pretty quickly. Can I see what now? Email. GP4, it's alright, I prefer the GP5. The Polish ML I prefer to the GP4, whatever it's called. Yeah, if you do it like that, yes. If you on purposely misspell the word or put spaces in the wrong place, yeah, it shows up like that. If you write safety as one word, it doesn't. That's an interesting way of putting it, Chris, but sadly I've never actually handled one. But yeah. M59, and then where it says S, I have a feeling that might not even be the size, because I know what's confusing. Where I've got the M2M, I thought that was the name of the mask, right? But M2, the size is M, but the size doesn't mean medium. It's a Yugoslavian or Serbian word for small. So it actually, by saying M, it doesn't mean medium, it means small. But the point is, surely the multi-billion-dollar algorithm has outsmarted itself if people can't just simply type the word safety into YouTube comments. That just does not make sense to me. I cannot see why the word safety is a hidden word. L1A1 SLR Peach. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point, Chris, isn't it? Why would you, make massive iframes and then put tiny lenses in it? If you do it as a video CCP gaming, sure. Out of interest, if somebody, I'm not saying do it, because obviously I'm not saying unless you wanted to, but if somebody did a super chat and put the word safety in it, does it reject the super chat or does it charge you and then does it just not show it? I don't know how that would actually work. I'm assuming super chats will always come through because I know I had a troll on like put fuck you or something once as a super chat and I actually read it out. I was like, all right, thank you, you've donated. So I'll read that out. So what does it just does not work? That's weird, isn't it? You think Google will want the money? I tell you what, Laser, if you want to type a comment just because you've donated so much and you've been on for ages, there you go. YouTube should let you type whatever you want now. I've put you on as a mod. So if you want to if you want to type your original comment now, and I bet it will show up because I've told YouTube you're allowed to do it. And by the way, I've only got 3 other mods other than Laser, and they're everybody I basically sort of know in real life. So the only reason I've done it for Laser because he's donated so much to the channel for ages. But yeah, type it out now, Laser, and see what it does because I'm interested now. All right, see you leaving, Zeus. About 140 redeem. Maybe at some point again I'll make another spreadsheet and just tally them all up because I actually really want to know an exact number now. So every time I get a mask, I can add to it. But when I got to like the odd 90 number or over a year ago, that was when I lost the file. And I bought, generally 1 or 2 masks each month since then. Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? You need a minimum standard of a mask that will basically not protect you. Yeah, if I was working with asbestos, I would definitely want like a 3M proper half face mask with the particulate filters as like the minimum option. For preferably, I just want a full face panoramic respirator with a proper particulate respirator on. What do you mean non-live comments? As in, I can go on random YouTube videos and review the comments whenever I want, but when I'm on a live stream, I just obviously see the live comments. How do you mean, Daniel, you have to use a full bodysuit in the UK? Oh, are you saying like for actual regulations? Like, yeah, where they have like dust suits on, yeah. I suppose if you're doing it your own asbestos, you wouldn't have to, would you? But yeah, as a company, if you were like removing asbestos, yeah, they have the whole things on, don't they, and the masks and everything. Super chat is banned for you. There's a Patreon link below. That'd be the only other way you can do it. Right. If you bought it from a surplus store and you're driving home, in most countries that would be allowed. But if you randomly kept a grenade in your glove box or something, even if it was deactivated, you're probably going to get in serious trouble. Just because I'd assume they'd think you're actually, got a fucking live grenade in your car, which wouldn't ever be a good idea. It's like, as much as I've got those things over there, I'm not tempted to go woo out the window at people. Just like I never wave the deactivated guns around just because, don't make your hobby of collecting stuff worse for everybody because you do something stupid with it. The government over here wants as many excuses as possible to ban everything, So I'm never going to give them an excuse on purpose by, fucking about in public with deactivated guns or grenades or knives or whatever. All right, Alpha? But yeah. I would think you'd have a pretty good legal defense if you said in the sense, I literally just bought this. Here's a receipt that proves I bought it today and I'm driving home with it. In the random case, they stopped and searched your car. But, if you randomly bought a grenade and then just keep it in your glove box, that'd be very dodgy. Do I do airsoft? I've done airsoft. Do I currently do it? No, just because there's not a site near me that does it on days that are convenient for me to do it. So if I want to do airsoft, I have to drive about 30 odd miles for like one Sunday a month, and I work Sundays. So. People in Bury. Where's Bury? Is that a place? If you walked around with a gas mask in public, depending on which country it is, some countries there's no laws against it whatsoever. In some, you might be seen as quite suspicious if you did it. In others, there might be no laws about walking around with it on the streets or whatever. But if you went in banks or places like that or a police station, then you might be breaking the law. And in some countries, it might just be illegal to wear one full stop. UK. As far as I'm aware, if you walked around with a gas mask on the streets in the UK, it's legal, but you might have, obviously, police suspicion of why you were doing it for quite obvious reasons, in my opinion. No, I'm afraid that's the only ways you can do it. Oh, that's reminded me, CW. There's a funny article I read before because I saw one of the shops from this actually in person. But speaking of Bury, or Bury, however it's pronounced, there was an RSPCA or something in Bury, like a charity shop, Royal Society Protection of Cruelty to Animals, whatever it is. And it said helping Bury animals, because they'd not thought about their slogan for that shop, had they? My favourite one, though, is I think it's either in Norwich, isn't it? Or it's one of the witches. It might not be Norwich. It might be the other one. Ipswich. I can't remember. There's one that says SS Showers. So there is literally a shop called SS Showers. I think they may have changed it now, but surely it's obvious why you would not put the word SS and showers together. Let me get you a picture of this up. Oh, it's Ipswich. It's got a 1-star review. I don't know who left that, but here's an image of their shop, and I have seen this in person when I was on a bus in there. I will read it in an accent like this. Shower spares and repairs, full bathrooms and shower installation service, disabled adaptions, design service, free quotation and home visits, over 20 years experience. You see, I would definitely not pick a name like that if I had a shower shop. Yeah, exactly. That's another one. Like, it's like when we were saying before and having a laugh about the people who give their kids horrible names. Like, they probably don't realise they did it. But, like where somebody's called something like Willie Stroke or Mo Lester. It's like, who would ever think, I didn't notice it just said something horrible. So like they've literally blunted knives for acting. We had at school we had like for drama a fake knife that was one that went into the handle. So it wasn't sharp, it was obviously like plastic, but the idea is it had like a spring in it or something. So if you were on stage stab somebody, it looked like it went all the way in because the blade goes into the handle as you push it in. Yeah, bend over, that's another one. Yeah, I don't think it's a good name for the right reasons, though, is it? That's probably a hate crime to have a shop called that now. Oh, somebody translation. Yeah, what Chris put is the literal translation, but yeah, it literally means something like civilian protective, doesn't it, or something? Yeah, but again, if you had one of those surnames, surely you're bullying your kid, aren't you, giving him a first name like that? Because imagine how much they get the piss ripped into them at school. I know there was one like I don't know if there's a guy who changed his name to this, but there was a guy in like either in India or Turkey or something who had the name like Batman bin Superman. Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? Mike Litterus. But yeah. Yeah, some of those are good, but you'd never actually call your kid that, would you? That's the point. That if I had a kid and I had a surname like that, you would never go, "Oh, I'm going to call my kid that. I hope they kill themselves from the bullying they receive at school." If I could legally build one, right, on the property, yes, I would, just for the fun of building it as a hobby, and maybe it would actually have a thing. That's the life of Brian, isn't it? Because oh, I don't think you'd ever want to call your kid Jimmy Savile again. How do you mean, Game King? You have to explain what you're on about. Yeah, let's not do that one, Xaid, because that's the one that, you know. I just told somebody else not to do it, so you don't do it as well. It depends which American gas mask you mean. If you mean the M50 versus a GSR at the moment, yes. If you mean something like the FM12 versus FM12 or S10 versus the M40, then no. It depends which period you're comparing them. No, I don't remember the Swedish kid with a massively long name, letters, and numbers. No, funnily enough, Peach, I mentioned that today because Bart, I think, may have had that on PS3. He's going to check for me. If he does, he's going to let me borrow it. If it's really cheap secondhand, I might buy it. But the problem is because I don't really use my PS3 much at the moment. My PS3 is around the back of this TV. So again, I could plug the PS3 in quite easily and use it, but it's just I kind of just end up doing everything on PC. But I'm quite tempted to play Last of Us because we were just chatting about Cordyceps today, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind actually playing The Last of Us. But yeah, Cordyceps is a fucked up thing, isn't it? There's something else we were talking about as well that's like another one of those horrible parasitic kind of invasive things. I think Bart was on about that like worm maggoty thing that drowns the animals and then they come out with it. Cheers, Laser, again. But yeah, I suppose if it's a surname, it's harder to change, isn't it? But because I know, like Crapper, wasn't that like somebody's name originally who actually invented some toilet stuff, and that's why the name got associated with shit, calling it like crap. Was his name Thomas Crapper? Let me look it up. Thomas Crapper and Co. Thomas Crapper was an English plumber who founded Thomas Crapper and Co. in London, a sanitary equipment company. Crapper held 9 patents, 3 of them for water closet improvements such as the floating ball cock. So basically, a guy who worked on a load of toilet stuff was called Crapper, and that's where the name crap comes from. But, you know, so I can understand if you've actually got a family name that comes from something that was invented for it, well, you might not want to change it. But yeah, I can understand that, you know, it would be pretty horrible, wouldn't it, for your kids in school and everything. I don't actually know what the shelf life is for, if you mean Israeli Type 80 filters, I really don't know. I think it will depend how well they're, you know, sealed and everything. But I think with most modern NBC filters, as long as they're not just sealed in a plastic bag with no caps on, they should probably last at least 15 years. Because I guess it's a bit of a design flaw, Abdul. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But it's not actually for smoke, it's for like gas. But yeah, it's if you're opening it as quickly as possible to put on, you don't want to have another step of opening all the little bits. Depends in what regard you consider the PBF to be a good mask. If you mean why is it an okay mask in terms of what it is, it's an alright cheek filter mask. It's got an oral nasal cup. It's got a voice diaphragm. Yeah, in Metro. Well, in theory, in Metro, the shelf life is indefinite, isn't it? But as soon as you put it on, then it suddenly expires in 5 minutes. What would I do if the 2008 financial crisis happened again? Well, I've not really got much money in shares, to be honest. I doubt it would be too much of a problem. Just not waste your money on stupid shit. It's not like in most Western countries that if you have a financial crisis, like the next day people are cutting each other's heads off in the street. You know, I'm not saying it really happens anywhere, but you know, it's not one of those things where it really matters too much unless you've got loads of money put into certain companies, whatever. Safeguard, that's literally always down to opinion. If you mean from a protection standpoint, it'd actually have to be a rebreather or a mask with a pressured air supply, as in like, you know, like an oxygen tank, air tank on the back. But in terms of like, if you mean what's just a good modern mask, it's really down to opinion, but pretty much all masks are good that are modern. Well, not all of them, but you know. I've heard that, Mike. Yeah, isn't it like not all cats carry it? It's a bit like with the cat scratch fever thing that like it's like a third or half of cats carry, yeah, some sort of bacteria or parasite or whatever that's the one that causes cat scratch fever. That's fine. That's why I timed you out rather than banning you. Because I thought if you said it really quickly after the other guy, it's not really fair to ban you. But I'd rather not have any racist stuff on here, you know, for obvious reasons. Yeah, because the problem is PC Dragon is I understand it's from a gameplay perspective, right? So you have to look for, you know, filters and scavenge them. But my issue with Metro is more that lots of people on the internet defend that as a realistic way filters work. I'm pretty sure they'd have changed to a different system of gas masks in real life. If a gas mask filter would only last 5 minutes, it would make the mask pretty much pointless. I've heard of 60 Seconds, but is there also a film called 60 Seconds? Or is that gone in 60 seconds? But I don't think I've played it. Oh, no, I do know what you mean by that because I just Googled it. It's the thing about the Fallout shower, isn't it? We have to grab a load of items and get in the shower and hope you don't die. Right, Toxoplasma gondii, is it? But yeah, some of these like bacteria that you find out about are pretty horrifying, aren't they? Oh, that's an interesting video to mention. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but it's a really freaky old video. I need to find out what the name of it is, but it's kind of a bit like a cordyceps sort of thing, but it was like a fake medical thing, and it was about metal implants growing in people. It was like a mockumentary kind of thing. It was actually pretty freaky. If anybody knows the name, please post it in the chat. If I if I can get Bart to remember what it is, he'll remember it when I ask him. But I have a weird feeling it's called something like metallosis ignioma or something like that, and it's like a really freaky. Oh, that is it. Metallosis. And then it had another bit. Right, now let me go on YouTube and see if the mockumentary is still up. Because obviously a lot of this is like the actual stuff on the real sort of stuff. But there's like a really freaky one about... This is annoying me, I can't find this now, but this is a really freaky thing. I didn't know if anybody had seen it before, but it had loads of views originally. Yeah, I cut my own hair when I do it about probably normally once a month to like every 2 months. I just literally buzz cut it completely off. I'll do one at some point, Stefan, but recently I couldn't remember a load of them. I've still been having them, but you know, the ones where you wake up and within a few minutes you've forgotten you've had it. I've got a few that I've remembered from a while ago that I could put down, but recently I've not been having... I don't think I've been having as many, I just can't remember. Oh, it's metallosis maligna. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Metallosis maligna, extraordinary disease. Only has 12k views, or is this because it's just been re-uploaded? Let me just skip through the video to check this is the right thing. But if it is, this is really freaky. Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, this is definitely the thing. It's like very, very David Furphy, basically. So yeah, Mike, you might like this. There you go. So this, anybody who's interested in like creepy stuff, this is obviously fake. It's a mockumentary. Just saying that before people go, this is fake. But it's quite a creepy thing. If you like Shed 17 or you know, any of those sort of things, the David Fur things, you'll definitely like this. An L1A1 SLR, which is the British version of the FAL, yeah. I've never seen them before, Cater, so I don't know. What ones are you planning on getting then, JTP guy? For saying something racist, they side, it should be bloody obvious. Oh, any Remploy suit is good. Okay, if Chris has experience with them and he says they're good, they're probably good. But yeah, I don't have one, so I can't really comment. But is that the armed police one or whatever it is? If so, I might try and get one at some point. Or are they the ones that also do the Mark IV NBC suits? Yeah, exactly. David Firth's done Salad Fingers, Burnt Face Man, Jerry Jackson, which is my favourite David Firth thing. But it's a thing where I showed some people Jerry Jackson, they just cannot get the jokes in it, and they do not find it funny. Even though I find Jerry Jackson really funny. Hello, this is my Jerry Jackson cartoons. Never sleep paralysis, no. What's never dull? Is it some sort of spray-on thing? No, I've used silicone lubricant. I'll show you the one I use. Just because the one I've used has never caused me a problem. But some people have used silicone lube and it's damaged their masks. Again, it's going to depend on the rubber. But I've got this one, Draper silicone lubricant. Also, I would not advise using this as a sexual lubricant. I've never tried it, but just in case anybody thinks it's not like a water-based lube or something like that, it's for polishing like rubber and bits of metal. But it makes your gas masks very shiny. So there's that. It's not sticky, actually, that. I mean, lubricant's not meant to be sticky. It's meant to be the opposite. It's a lubricant. But, well, I'm assuming that metal implants are not meant to be magnetic. I don't know. I know with pacemakers, magnets can damage them. All right, I'll keep an eye out for that mic and click on it if I see it. Yes and no, right, Flames. I'm pretty sure the closest mask to the one in Fallout 4, if that's the one you're on about, is the Italian T35 gas mask. Because that's the one that has the straps like this, but the voice diaphragm kind of front cover thing closest to the M51. Because the one in Fallout 4 has the fabric straps, doesn't it, with one directly in the middle of the mask. But it's got the M51 style voice diaphragm cover, or, just exhale valve cover. So I'm pretty sure the Fallout 4 mask is directly based on the Italian T35. All right, cool, CCTP. That's interesting, Richard. There's a lot of interesting things like that, isn't there? That if you have certain implants or certain conditions, really normal seeming things can damage or kill you. GP5 spider farm, what is this, a GP5 that's breeding spiders inside it? Sounds kind of interesting. Because if he says safety, Chris, if you missed it earlier, it will hide the comment. I've never really listened to ASMR. I think Mike likes ASMR, and a couple of my mates like ASMR, but I've never really found it very interesting. I don't find it sexy or relaxing. It's just, I suppose it depends what type of ASMR you mean. If you just mean random noises, I do like some ambient noise, but... What is my favourite gas mask? The Avon CT12. I'm not going to get it out, though, again on this video, and I've got it out on a few recent videos. Well, the Israeli M15, that's an alright mask. Because it's basically like one of the best M65 style masks I've seen in terms of it can have a drinking tube, it's got a voice diaphragm that's pretty clear, it makes a good face seal. I was thinking of doing something like this as a parody, right, Stefan, at one point, but it's just I've never got round to doing it, where I'd have the Geiger counter out, I'd keep making a Geiger counter there, go off, and then I'd be talking through a gas mask going, "It is totally safe, very low radiation," or something. CM7M. Again, the thing I've said over and over again, right, because I just keep repeating myself on this point, but it's not going to change regardless of the mask. If I can spot a mask I don't own for a good price, I will buy it and review it. If it's going to cost me stupid money or I can't get it, then no. The worst gas mask I know is the pewter one I've got. It's just called pewter, but it's a Chinese industrial mask where the straps fall off of it constantly because they're not attached on properly. And it's not like something's broken, they're just not attached on properly. Whoever designed it made them hold on via friction, not by any sort of locking mechanism. And it's made from such a soft silicone kind of rubber, the mask peels off your face from the weight of the filter. Well, if that floats their boat, Vista. I guess they're just quite strong and they're used to it. The thing is, if you're carrying a lot of weight and it's spread over your shoulders and your chest, a good example of this, I've got one of those massive, expedition rucksacks, whatever you'd call them. It's the one you sometimes see really long distance hikers use, where it's a rucksack that's literally almost taller than the person. That's one where, in terms of capacity, I think it's well over 100 litres. But it does up at your shoulders, and then it's got a bit that does up there, and it's got, another bit around your waist and all that. You can put a lot of weight in that, and when all the straps are done up properly, you don't feel the weight all that much because it's spread evenly over you. So if you've obviously got soldiers and they're wearing like a plate carrier type setup, and they've got all the pouches spread across evenly, and the plate carrier's got a good internal liner, they can carry a lot of weight, but they won't necessarily feel it. It's not like, physically picking up a weight and lifting it and putting it down. Now, if you went prone or whatever and tried to get up, that's when it can get a bit more difficult. But right, I'll tell you what, right? I'll show you the pewter mask if you want to see it so badly. Let me just have a bit more of my vodka and orange juice. Well, do they lie and say the Turks don't use their masks? Or is it like that when they're selling features? Turkey uses our masks, and that's the only one that's actually true. Here it is. Advanced brand new design. It should be shit design. Ultra great, ultra whip field of vision. They have to put Ultra in twice in case you forgot. If you want to send hate mail to them, not like I'm condoning that or anything, I'm just saying that's their contact. Tangshan Pewter Protective Products Factory, address Tangfang Town Development Zone, Fengnan area, Tangshan City. Yeah, right, that's fine then. I was just saying when the person asked, I said I assume they wouldn't be magnetic, so there you go, they're not magnetic. Yeah, that's the thing, ladies. If you're walking around with it on, strapped to them properly, it's not bad, is it? But the problem is if you go down and try and get up and all that sort of stuff, that's when it becomes a problem. Because that's what I found even when I had the plate carrier not set up to the full weight without all the other gear on, but, you know, the helmet, the plate carrier, doing a test of the SLR or whatever I did it in, like you requested with a gas mask. That's when it becomes really awkward trying to lay down and get back up just because you're so restricted in movements. Right, so this is the pewter mask. So let's look at the straps first of all. This strap I've manually fixed by basically shoving it through the wrong thing, but most of the straps have this system, right? Look at how that strap attaches to the mask. The metal buckle is literally held on via friction. See that? It can literally roll off the clip because all it is held on by friction. You know how most masks would actually have it screwed in somehow or something like, no, not on this mask. So the straps are held on by friction and the mask is made from a soft rubber, as you can see. So let me show you what happens when I put a filter on this mask. I'm not even going to put a heavy filter on it, right? I'm just going to put a standard filter on it. Also, no intake valve. Does that mean it's meant to be warm with a powered like air unit? Maybe, but in the pictures they show it regular filters on. So I have a feeling this might be a GOS screw because this NATO filter doesn't actually want to go in. But, anyway, let's have a look. Oh no, there we go. So it broke before I even got a chance to show you it. But yeah, well done. This is a mask designed by somebody who is literally retarded. And I'll probably lose that if I don't put this anything. But yeah, well, the Metro mask is the PPM88, and it only looks the same as in is panoramic. I don't know what the largest size FMJ05 they do is. I know the MF11 is the export version of that, but I'm pretty sure they probably go up to bigger sizes. Do I use Discord? Yes, it's for people that donate. Oh, it depends how you mean cheek filter masks are effective. They're perfectly useful against particulates, and they're fine when they were in service and the filters were new for putting on and evacuating from an area. But they weren't fine for, you know, like standard stuff we would think for gas masks used today. Oh, so it's an approved gas mask company, is it, that they actually manufacture the masks? Are every other mask 100% obsolete? I'm not getting the Shum 41 out. It might be one of the masks on that shelf in the bag. I don't know if it actually is. I don't think it is up there. It's probably in a wardrobe somewhere because I've got too many masks. That one's my favourite gun, where my hand looks like it's stroking it. The FAL, the L1A1 SLR. The GP9 is the other name for the PPM88. Have I got the PPM88 in here? If so, I'll get that down, but I've not, have I? Where have I? Or is that just both the S10s I've got up there? I think it's two S10s. Right, if you want to see a panoramic mask that's actually good, as much as I like the Spaziani, I don't have that in this room, but if you want to see a good one, actually, tell you what, I'll just get this. This wasn't the one I was going to show, but I'll get the Finnish M71 out because this is a good mask. Right, so as you can see, this is a pretty similar design in many ways to that other mask, right? But we're going to see what happens with the straps on this one. Right, so there we go. Here's the Finnish M71. Far more comfortable than that mask. And oh, look, the straps aren't falling off. See? It's not hard to design straps that work on a mask. But whatever reason, the pewter company can do it. Right, see, if you look at the straps on this, look, they're physically attached to the mask. They don't just go, ooh, I pinged the strap off. Oh. Thank you, Laser. Yeah, the thing is, the idea of having a cheek filter style mask is fine as long as I think it's integrated well into the mask. My main issue with a lot of the cheek filter masks is just how difficult it was to change the filters. You know, in theory, you could have a different design from like 40 or 60mm and it would be fine. You just have to do it well. But I suppose that's what the Avon M50's design is really, isn't it? Because that is literally kind of a bit like the 3M bayonet filters. They attach via the outside, but the mask is designed to be as slimline as possible, with the filters being quite slimline so they don't get in the way of anything. Which hose? I didn't have a hose out in the video. But if you have a World War II like mask that had asbestos in, I wouldn't use a hose from that. But if you have like a modern mask, there's no danger. The problem is, Troy, all the radioactive stuff I currently own, I've done videos on. The stuff right behind me and the radioactive stuff on the shelves. Yeah, my Yugoslavian one hasn't melted yet, but a lot of other people have reported that mask melts, so I've only gone what people have said, but, you know. Well, because on old gas mask Floyd, see the size of those filters? People generally used to use massive kind of like what you call box filters or coffee can filters. So you don't want the weight of that directly on the mask on your face because it pulls the mask away from your face, you know, and puts strain on your neck. So the point is you wear that in a satchel, the hose lets you breathe from the mask on the satchel. So it's quite a good idea, but it's just, you know, as technology has evolved, people have made filters smaller and smaller that work pretty well. So you can have a smaller filter directly on the mask rather than having, you know, a massive filter kind of on your chest with a hose attached. All right, I'll be off in a few minutes. Thank you to everybody that's donated tonight. I appreciate that. So thanks, Laser, and thanks, Killstrike. That's really nice of you. Regarding the Maglite, I'll show you something. Right, so today, what I've received thus far, I'm hoping the Maglite will come tomorrow, but that's the LED for it. That's come. And I've got 4 rechargeable D cells come. So they'll be fine. The Amazon Basics are actually a better microamp than the Duracell ones and way cheaper. I've got some other Amazon Basics rechargeables and they're actually pretty good. I've got 2 D-cell rechargeables anyway, but they're currently in the DPD Geiger counter. Sorry, not DPD. That's a delivery company. Why can't I think of the name? DP66M, that's it. So, yeah, what this means is now I've got 4 more batteries. I can, in theory, have 2 batteries in the Maglite, and then I've got another 2 spare D batteries if ever I want to put them back in that radiation alarm. Oh, it says they come charged. Let me try something. Right, I'm going to see if I can make a very loud noise for all of you. Because old Polish military equipment, the commie stuff, used D cells, which is better than the older Soviet stuff, which used like that weird type of battery that's really hard to get now. Right, it says these come charged, so I'm going to test this now. Report her, Stefan. Have that old bitch done. I don't know if she was old, but selling you asbestos, not allowed. Is MRSA that super infection? I know somebody's had that, but they died, but that was completely unrelated to that, and that was like years later they died. But yeah, it's like a horrible thing, isn't it? But again, it's because they keep giving antibiotics to people who don't need antibiotics, and you know, using them on farm animals. Right, let's get this last little battery out of here because the actual thing doesn't want to wrap. Obviously, don't want to get a knife and start puncturing a rechargeable battery for obvious reasons. Why is there a sticker of a cat on my wall? Where are you looking? If you can see a sticker of a cat, there's a Bart Simpson one there from when I was years ago, and there's a Paddington Bear one. Is there a cat one? If you want to know, because it's the same room I've had since I was like a toddler. So you know, there's stickers from there, and some of them aren't taken off the wall. Right, let's see if this works. So okay, let's put the decels in. I think they all go in this way. Right, so that's one side of it. Get that. There's quite a lot of tension on these. I'll do it like this. If I can get him turning, he doesn't want to turn very well. Come on. Come on. Start threading back in. Why does this not want to screw back in? Let me just screw it counterclockwise, or just in case for whatever reason it's an inverted screw or something stupid. I don't think it is it? No, it's definitely not, right. Come on, screw in. There you go. Right, that side's in. Now, is that the power one? Or is it the alarm? I think pretty sure it's the power. Right, now we'll do the other one. Sorry, I'm pretty sure it's the alarm because the power's not common. Don't get that excited, Floyd, by this. Right, let's see if they were right and these batteries are pre-charged. Oh, for my Polish viewers, there's a massive list of writing on the back of this in Bakelite. Okay, right, let's see. There we go. Look, it works. Right, so how this actually works is that's the Rontgen thing as far as I'm aware. So half a Rontgen, 0.5 Rontgen, 5 Rontgen, and 30 Rontgen. That is the settings for it to go off. So obviously, if I had this like this, normally look, this isn't going to go off, right? Because there's nowhere near enough gamma going into this to set off. Now let me put the buzzer on when it's on the test mode. Ready? I'm only going to do a couple of tests because it's going to annoy everybody in the house. Are you ready? There you go. So yeah, it's got this amazing alarm on this thing, but it's yeah, pretty horrible. But yeah, anyway, it's proved that the batteries that came were pre-charged, which is what I wanted. It is very loud, this. So yeah, you are definitely going to be aware you're getting irradiated. So, you know, if you have this set to 30 Rontgen and you're at Chernobyl and it's beeping, you know it's in fact more than 3.6 Rontgen, don't you? Although it doesn't go higher than that. But as far as I'm aware, this only works with gamma radiation, because how it works, essentially, is I think it's like a Geiger rather than the dosimeter. As far as I'm aware, it's like it has to be, you know, essentially a consistent amount of radiation that goes over whatever Rontgen you have it set to. And as far as I'm aware, I have nothing in all my radioactive items that send out more gamma than half a Rontgen. I don't think I've got anything close to that. I think, you know, I can get some milli-Rontgens out of a couple of things, but again, milli-Rontgens, there's 1,000 milli-Rontgens in a Rontgen, so I don't think I have anything that makes 500 milli-Rontgens, which would be half a Rontgen, which is kind of good because I wouldn't want stuff like that hanging around the house. But anyway, there you go. That is that Polish radiation alarm that makes a fucking loud noise. How do you mean, Abdul? I'm not sure what you mean. Thin air. Well, if you can breathe normally, a mask will work. If there's no oxygen or whatever, no, it won't work because it requires air to pass through the filter. But yeah, so that's that is the Polish radiation alarm, the one I never show because it always has the batteries out of it. And I can't really demonstrate it other than doing a test mode. But yes, it makes a very loud buzzing noise. Was it the DP75, whatever it was called, which was the later version of the Polish Geiger counter that actually had that same alarm system built into it, so you can make the Geiger counter beat that loud? Right, anyway, I'll be off now. Thank you for all the donations, everybody that's donated. Thank you to everybody that's watched the stream and liked the stream and enjoyed it. It's been a good, you know, it's been quite a good fun stream tonight. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing a video soon as soon as my Maglite arrives, which should be in the early part of this week. Although it'll probably be a scheduled video, I'll show it in a live stream, where I'll be getting the Maglite. I'll demonstrate it first with its original battery, then I'll be putting this battery in, if you just want to see what this battery looks like. I won't leave feedback for this, not battery, sorry, lens. I won't obviously leave a review, but there's the little Cree LED. Thank you again, Laser, I really appreciate it. But yeah, that's the Cree LED. For the Maglite. As soon as that arrives, I'll demonstrate it first the original bulb, but just to prove how much better LEDs are than the old halogens or whatever that's in them. Cree XPG2, I think that's one Hype said it's quite good, wasn't it? But there's a lot of different brands of Maglite upgrade bulbs you can get. I just bought ones that had it was a good price and had loads of good feedbacks for the seller and lots of good reviews. But again, I think if you're putting a bulb like that in a Maglite, because they say certain strengths of bulb are recommended, or like lumens for the bulbs are recommended for certain model Maglites. So in theory, I guess you could put different brightness bulbs in some of the Maglites, but I assume they'd either be really dim or drain too much power or something. Because I know there was some they'd even though I think the bulbs would fit, they recommended them from like certain series of Maglites. So this was recommended for the D-cell Maglites or like the 2D or 4D Maglite, and I'm buying a 2D Maglite because I don't need a giant one. But yeah. Anyway, I'm off now. So, but yeah, thanks everybody. And then, yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow. I won't stream in the evening now because I'll be at the Panto rehearsal. My cold's completely gone now, so I haven't got an excuse not to go. But yeah, bye everybody. See everybody. Thanks everybody. And I will be off.